What's up, shawties? It's Ashley Hardy. Welcome back to another video. It is Sunday, and I am so grateful to be here. If you are new, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the family. And if you are returning, thank you all for joining me again. So, let's talk about serving in our church. Actually, my family and I recently joined a new church. We are coming up on a year in a few months of us attending this church. We joined and it has been amazing. And we joined the church in a season where transition was needed, a new chapter, we were ready. And the things that we've been praying and seeking God for when it comes to a new church home and building that community, our prayers were definitely being answered. God was opening doors and directing us. And now, today, I'm happy to say that I actually attended my very first shadowing of a ministry that I'm interested in joining. So, at my current church, they have a process where if you're interested in learning more about a ministry and trying to test it out to see if that's the ministry for you, you can sign up to shadow. And that's what I did today. Now, there are a few different things that I have been learning. If you do not know, I was born and raised in a church. I've attended a few different churches over my years, and this church is my first in this type of arena. And that means that this is the first church that I've been to where it has multiple locations. It's very diverse. It's pretty much a pretty growing, fast paced type of modern church. And most of the people that's in my congregation or the location that I attend, we are millennials or Gen Z. So we are a very young church. And that dynamic alone was very new to me. And I have been enjoying it and loving it. And one thing that I have been desiring when it comes to growing in my walk and building community is feeling like I belong. And I feel like anyone, right? If you are attending any type of church, you are looking to be a part of any community, naturally you want to feel like you belong there. And you want to feel like that there is a common sense and ground and that you're giving and you're able to receive as well. And this is a space where I am finally starting to feel that. One thing that's very important when going to any type of ministry is having an open mind and open heart to receive, right? I know with me praying and desiring community for so long, there were a lot of things God had to work with me in before even stepping into this next chapter. And one of those things was just being open to communicate, open for new friendships or just new community, and kind of break down some of the walls I held up. And I have definitely been having that mindset in everything that I've been doing in this season. And one thing I'm so grateful for is that I had people who saw me, didn't know me yet, but they saw me and they said, "Hey, I need you. I want you to be a part of what we're building, what we have. I feel like you will be a great addition." And that is rare. I feel like sometimes people have to know your whole background. They need to know your resume to see who you are and if you make sense. And they kind of put you on a roster and a list. And then from there, they'll say, "Yeah, I want you. Yeah, no, I don't." But actually, at this church, it has been a different experience. To be very honest with you, there wasn't a ministry that stuck out to me when attending where I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I know this is the place for me. This is where I want to, grow or share my skills." And because naturally my background is in communications, I knew for sure, I'm gonna be very honest with you, that that was the ministry I did not want to do. Mainly because I wanted to try something different, something outside of my comfort zone, something that I'm not more so doing on a regular basis or that I'm not familiar with. I wanted to learn something new, challenge myself. So I knew for sure that was not the area, and I was looking at the other options or ministries and teams that they had, and I was like, well, maybe I'll try out next steps. But then I was like, I'm not even sure if I'm interested in that. And then I realized that under Next Steps, they actually have a team called Discovery. And at our church, Discovery is a class that you take for new members, and it's hosted monthly, and you attend. It's like 2 sessions, and pretty much you just learn more about the church, the values, what we believe, and how you can, get acquainted and build community and get connected. You ask all your questions. That's pretty much what that is. And so I did think like, hey, well, maybe I can assist with hosting those classes. Huh. I'll be open to that. So one of the women at our church who oversees all of that, it's funny. She was like, you know what? I know where I would love to have you and, put you. And I was just like, oh, praying like, hopefully it's something, that I'm not afraid of, or hopefully it's something that um I would like to do. But I was open. I was like, okay, whatever you have, I'm here, let me know. And that was the very spot that she said. So I said, okay, let's go for it. So actually a few months ago, I actually signed up for shadowing, but it ended up being changed because my husband also serves on a ministry at the church as well. So because of our baby, we have to make sure that we're not serving the same day naturally. So we end up having to kind of change. So I end up getting to switch to this Sunday to shadow. So today I went and I shadowed, and I'm going to say that it was a breath of fresh air. One thing that I loved about joining or participating in today's shadow was, for one, I didn't have to figure out what I had to do. I didn't have to come with the mindset of already knowing everything. I literally just had to show up on time. And from there, they had a process laid out. So when we arrived, we actually first was in kind of like an introductory course, really quick, going over the do's and don'ts and the culture and how you should treat guests, and just the norms and things that you should know when serving there. So from there, then we got to then go with our team lead of the ministry that we were shadowing, and then they continue to walk us through the process and what serving on that team looks like. And let me just say this: I love that my church is really big on celebration. They're really big on building a very encouraging atmosphere, making sure everyone's on the same page, making sure everyone's informed, making sure everyone is valued and seen, and it shows in everything that they do or everything that we do. Okay, because I'm a part of this as well. I'm grateful for all the warm hugs and warm conversation and the openness and all that my family and I have been receiving so far of us attending this church and us being welcome to be a part of the ministry more than just attending. And that is something that I value. So there were a few different things that came to my mind when it comes to serving in a church. I know some people could be hesitant because it is a lot, and it can be a lot, especially depending on the culture of the church. But it's very important to do more than just attend your church. Serving in your church is important. It helps create purpose. It helps you understand your calling, because sometimes you may not realize that the skills that you have, how they can articulate in you doing a certain ministry or role, or it helps challenge you for you to learn new skills and roles and then grow in that capacity. It also helps you stay connected to the church. I know sometimes life happens, things get tough. And sometimes some people fall off from attending church. They're like, I'm going through a lot right now, or I don't want to be around people. But it's a little harder to just stay home when you already are signed up and enlisted and committed on a team or on a ministry. It's a little harder to be like, yeah, I can't do it, because someone is expecting you, someone is counting on you, someone is saying, we need you here. And having that accountability is important, because it helps you stay connected to the church. It also helps you build community. You get to know people, you get to, build friendships, just build other people around you who have the same goal in mind, which is to serve God, to love others, and to do it together. I'm gonna be very honest. I thought that that was something that I would experience before for me being in a ministry and serving on a team at previous churches. And unfortunately, that was not my experience. So I do want to say and give a disclaimer that if you are still searching for that, say that you are currently serving at a church or in a ministry and you don't feel like this is for you, you're still feeling like you're not included, that you're not building community, you feel a little lost and you're just like, I'm not feeling it, continue to see God for direction and pray and ask, what's next? How can I shift this? Or how can this be shifted? It may be, maybe there's something that he still wants you to fix and break down or give to him in order for him to help remove you from that space or in that season. Or it may be time for you to transition. You never know. But one thing I'm big on is giving it to God, and sometimes it can be tough, to say, okay, God, I'm giving this to you, I need direction, because I also like to hold on and try to figure it out along the way. And unfortunately, you can't do that. You just got to let it go. You just got to let it go. And I was praying for years for direction, for clarity, for a door to open for me to transition, because I knew where I was not where I was meant to be forever. And it's okay. Like, you should never be upset, and no one should ever be upset with you for being at a particular ministry or church for a season. Everywhere that you go, you're not meant to be there forever. We all must grow and change. And sometimes that growth and change means you must leave where you are to then go to your next place. One thing that I am definitely looking forward to is the joy of serving. Just the thought of me being able to help and assist and serve others automatically brings joy, but it helps have that joy knowing that, for one, it's not about me. It's about helping, ushering in that spirit for those in that walk with Christ, being another yes in their journey, helping them, even if it's as small as saying good morning, welcome to the church, good morning, happy Sunday. Even it's as simple as showing them where the restroom is. Like, any encounter and interaction that I have with someone in any space and time, honestly, is another opportunity to show the love of Christ. So having that mindset and being open to always remember, I don't want my attitude, my emotions, anything about me to be a distraction or deterrent when someone can be encountering God. Like, in everything I do, I have to be mindful this can be their only time, or this can be an opportunity for them to see the love of Christ. Who knows what's going to happen next? So the joy that comes for knowing that I can be a part of someone's journey one way or another, definitely, it's a wow factor, of course, but it's a beautiful thing. Out of all things, one thing that I desire and am searching for and looking forward to is just knowing that this is a place for everyone. And unfortunately, not everyone has that experience. Like I said, I did not, but I am loving and I'm seeing, and I am a part of a ministry that is big on making sure that everyone belongs and finding where you belong. I may not belong with, let's say, hospitality, but that's okay. But I belong somewhere. And just finding your footing and being open to trying and testing out ministries, asking questions, just learning more from others who's already been there for a long time or just for a season, to see, where do I get my footing, and being okay with asking questions and being okay with figuring it out and not being discouraged that I don't know everything already. I don't know everyone. It's okay. You know one person. That's fine. You know nobody. Say hello. Hi, I'm new here. I would love to, get to know someone. And I'm constantly reminding myself, like, Ashley, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. Like, and that's in everything. We have not because we ask not. And sometimes we're like, well, God know our desires. He does. But sometimes we got to make it plain. And sometimes we don't fully know what we want. We're saying, oh yeah, I want community. Yeah, I want to grow and I want da da da. But do you know what may come with that? The cost that may come along with that, the journey, the challenges. And sometimes with growing, not sometimes, all the time, for you to grow and be stretched and be challenged, you got to go through some things. And it's tough. I promise you it's tough, because in almost every season of me desiring newness and to grow and to transition, oh, I then got to go through a few bumps. I got to go through a few storms, because now I got to grow. And you can't grow if there's no challenge. You can't. You don't know anything else. So you have to experience new things, and with new things you're learning, and you'll be figuring out. So you may fail on certain things, or it may not be smooth, and that is okay. But overall, me experiencing today, shadowing for the first time, was a beautiful experience. I just am so grateful for the women who took their time. We prayed together. We prepared our hearts and our mind beyond just like, okay, we set up, okay, now we ready. Like, everyone's heart posture and mindset was like, we're here to serve. This is for God. We're here. It's not about me. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care what's going on. We check that at the door, because our hearts and our mind is focused on, we're here to do God's work. And like I said, just knowing that any encounter that I may have with someone can help in their journey, in their process of learning God more and becoming more connected, and saying yes to God is very important. And I hope that if you are a believer, you're taking that seriously. We are disciples. We are called to share the good news. We are called to be a vessel. And I know being a vessel sounds so scary, because let's be clear, I never desired, outside of saying, yes, I'm a Christian and yes, I'll help somebody, just the thought of me kind of sharing testimonies and, doing anything outside of that, I was like, nah, get somebody else to do it. That's not for me, because the fear of, I have to be vulnerable, or what if they don't like what I say, or what if they don't listen to me, or what if, it's not perceived well. You just never know. But the only thing that matters is that you do what God told you to do. It's like your parent. Like, I don't care what nobody else do, but this is what I told you to do. Yes, sir. I hear you, Father. I hear you. And that's what he wants us to do. He wants to share the good news. He wants us to be that community, be that vessel, be that open person, be welcoming, be open to serve in all things. So that's all I wanted to share this week. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure, if you have not, that you subscribe, that you like, that you leave me a comment, say a little something, like, let's start a conversation, and make sure you share this so somebody else can enjoy it. And as always, I hope you enjoy this week. Have a blessed week, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Bye.